Chapters 20 through 29 of First Chronicles from the World English Bible. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Carol Newkirk. The First Book of Chronicles from the World English Bible, chapters 20 through 29. Chapter 20. It happened at the time of the return of the year, at the time when kings go out, that Joab led forth the army, and wasted the country of the children of Ammon, and came and besieged Rabbah. But David stayed at Jerusalem. Joab struck Rabbah, and overthrew it. David took the crown of their king from off his head, and found it to weigh a talent of gold, and there were precious stones in it. And it was set on David's head. And he brought forth the spoil of the city exceeding much. He brought forth the people who were therein, and cut them with saws, and with iron picks, and with axes. David did so to all the cities of the children of Ammon. David and all the people returned to Jerusalem. It happened after this, that there arose war at Gezer with the Philistines. Then Sibbecai the Hushathite killed Sippai of the sons of the giant, and they were subdued. There was again war with the Philistines, and Elhanan the son of Jair killed Lahmi, the brother of Goliath the Gittite, the staff of whose spear was like a weaver's beam. There was again war at Gath, where there was a man of great stature, whose fingers and toes were 24, 6 on each hand and 6 on each foot, and he also was born to the giant. When he defied Israel, Jonathan the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, killed him. These were born to the giant in Gath, and they fell by the hand of David, and by the hand of his servants. End of chapter 20. Chapter 21. Satan stood up against Israel, and moved David to number Israel. David said to Joab and to the princes of the people, Go, number Israel from Beersheba even to Dan, and bring me word, that I may know the sum of them. Joab said, May Yahweh make his people 100 times as many as they are. But my lord the king, aren't they all my lord's servants? Why does my lord require this thing? Why will he be the cause of guilt to Israel? Nevertheless the king's word prevailed against Joab. Therefore Joab departed, and went throughout all Israel, and came to Jerusalem. Joab gave up the sum of the numbering of the people to David. All those of Israel were 1,100,000 men who drew sword, and in Judah were 470,000 men who drew sword. But he didn't count Levi and Benjamin among them, for the king's word was abominable to Joab. God was displeased with this thing, therefore he struck Israel. David said to God, I have sinned greatly in that I have done this thing, but now put away, I beg you, the iniquity of your servant, for I have done very foolishly. Yahweh spoke to Gad, David's seer, saying, Go and speak to David, saying, Thus says Yahweh, I offer you 3 things. Choose one of them, that I may do it to you. So Gad came to David, and said to him, Thus says Yahweh, Take your choice, either 3 years of famine, or 3 months to be consumed before your foes, while the sword of your enemies overtakes you, or else 3 days the sword of Yahweh, even pestilence in the land, and the angel of Yahweh destroying throughout all the borders of Israel. Now therefore consider what answer I shall return to him who sent me. David said to Gad, I am in distress. Let me fall, I pray, into the hand of Yahweh, for his mercies are very great. Let me not fall into the hand of man. So Yahweh sent a pestilence on Israel, and 70,000 men of Israel fell. God sent an angel to Jerusalem to destroy it. As he was about to destroy, Yahweh saw, and he relented of the disaster, and said to the destroying angel, It is enough. Now stay your hand. The angel of Yahweh was standing by the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. David lifted up his eyes and saw the angel of Yahweh standing between earth and the sky, having a drawn sword in his hand stretched out over Jerusalem. Then David and the elders, clothed in sackcloth, fell on their faces. David said to God, "Isn't it I who commanded the people to be numbered? It is even I who have sinned and done very wickedly. But these sheep, what have they done? Please let your hand, O Yahweh my God, be against me and against my father's house, but not against your people, that they should be plagued." Then the angel of Yahweh commanded Gad to tell David that David should go up and raise an altar to Yahweh in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite. David went up at the saying of Gad, which he spoke in the name of Yahweh. Ornan turned back and saw the angel, and his 4 sons who were with him hid themselves. Now Ornan was threshing wheat. As David came to Ornan, Ornan looked and saw David, and went out of the threshing floor, and bowed himself to David with his hand to the ground. Then David said to Ornan, "Give me the place of this threshing floor, that I may build thereon an altar to Yahweh. You shall sell it to me for the full price, that the plague may be stopped from afflicting the people." Ornan said to David, "Take it for yourself, and let my lord the king do that which is good in his eyes. Behold, I give the oxen for burnt offerings, and the threshing instruments for wood, and the wheat for the meal offering. I give it all." King David said to Ornan, "No, but I will most certainly buy it for the full price, for I will not take that which is yours for Yahweh, nor offer a burnt offering without cost." So David gave to Ornan 600 shekels of gold by weight for the place. David built an altar to Yahweh there, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings, and called on Yahweh, and he answered him from the sky by fire on the altar of burnt offering. Yahweh commanded the angel, and he put up his sword again into its sheath. At that time, when David saw that Yahweh had answered him in the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite, then he sacrificed there. For the tabernacle of Yahweh, which Moses made in the wilderness, and the altar of burnt offering, were at that time in the high place at Gibeon. But David couldn't go before it to inquire of God, for he was afraid because of the sword of the angel of Yahweh. End of chapter 21. Chapter 22. Then David said, "This is the house of Yahweh God, and this is the altar of burnt offering for Israel." David gave orders to gather together the foreigners who were in the land of Israel, and he set masons to cut worked stones to build the house of God. David prepared iron in abundance for the nails, for the doors of the gates, and for the couplings, and brass in abundance without weight, and cedar trees without number, for the Sidonians and they of Tyre brought cedar trees in abundance to David. David said, "Solomon my son is young and tender, and the house that is to be built for Yahweh must be exceedingly magnificent, of fame and of glory throughout all countries. I will therefore make preparation for it." So David prepared abundantly before his death. Then he called for Solomon his son, and commanded him to build a house for Yahweh, the God of Israel. David said to Solomon his son, "As for me, it was in my heart to build a house to the name of Yahweh my God. But the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, You have shed blood abundantly, and have made great wars. You shall not build a house to my name, because you have shed much blood on the earth in my sight. Behold, a son shall be born to you, who shall be a man of rest. I will give him rest from all his enemies all around, for his name shall be Solomon, and I will give peace and quietness to Israel in his days. He shall build a house for my name, and he shall be my son, and I will be his father, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom over Israel forever. Now, my son, may Yahweh be with you and prosper you, and build the house of Yahweh your God, as he has spoken concerning you. May Yahweh give you discretion and understanding, and put you in charge of Israel, that so you may keep the law of Yahweh your God. Then you will prosper, if you observe to do the statutes and the ordinances which Yahweh gave Moses concerning Israel. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid, neither be dismayed. Now behold, in my affliction I have prepared for the house of Yahweh 100,000 talents of gold, 1,000,000 talents of silver, and brass and iron without weight, for it is in abundance. I have also prepared timber and stone, and you may add to them. There are also workmen with you in abundance, cutters and workers of stone and timber, and all kinds of men who are skillful in every kind of work. Of the gold, the silver, and the brass, and the iron, there is no number. Arise and be doing, and may Yahweh be with you. David also commanded all the princes of Israel to help Solomon his son, saying, Isn't Yahweh your God with you? Hasn't he given you rest on every side? For he has delivered the inhabitants of the land into my hand, and the land is subdued before Yahweh and before his people. Now set your heart and your soul to seek after Yahweh your God. Arise, therefore, and build the sanctuary of Yahweh God, to bring the ark of the covenant of Yahweh and the holy vessels of God into the house that is to be built to the name of Yahweh. End of chapter 22. Chapter 23. Now David was old and full of days, and he made Solomon his son king over Israel. He gathered together all the princes of Israel with the priests and the Levites. The Levites were numbered from 30 years old and upward, and their number by their polls, man by man, was 38,000. David said, Of these 24,000 were to oversee the work of the house of Yahweh. 6,000 were officers and judges. 4,000 were doorkeepers, and 4,000 praised Yahweh with the instruments which I made for giving praise. David divided them into divisions according to the sons of Levi: Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. Of the Gershonites, Ladan and Shammai. The sons of Ladan, Jehiel the chief, and Zetham and Joel, 3. The sons of Shammai, Shelomoth and Haziel and Haran, 3. These were the heads of the fathers' households of Ladan. The sons of Shammai, Jahath, Zina, and Jeush, and Beriah. These 4 were the sons of Shammai. Jahath was the chief, and Zizah the second. But Jeush and Beriah didn't have many sons, therefore they became a father's house in one reckoning. The sons of Kohath, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel, 4. The sons of Amram, Aaron and Moses. And Aaron was separated, that he should sanctify the most holy things, he and his sons forever, to burn incense before Yahweh, to minister to him, and to bless in his name forever. But as for Moses, the man of God, his sons were named among the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses, Gershom and Eleazar. The sons of Gershom, Shebuel the chief. The sons of Eleazar were Rehabiah the chief, and Eleazar had no other sons. But the sons of Rehabiah were very many. The sons of Izhar, Shelomoth the chief. The sons of Hebron, Jeriah the chief, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, and Jekameam the fourth. The sons of Uzziel, Micah the chief, and Ishiah the second. The sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi. The sons of Mali, Eleazar and Kish. Eleazar died and had no sons, but daughters only, and their brothers, the sons of Kish, took them as wives. The sons of Mushi, Mali and Ader and Jeremoth, 3. These were the sons of Levi after their fathers' houses, even the heads of the fathers' houses of those who were counted individually, in the number of names by their polls, who did the work for the service in the house of Yahweh from 20 years old and upward. For David said, Yahweh, the God of Israel, has given rest to his people, and he dwells in Jerusalem forever. Also the Levites will no longer need to carry the tabernacle and all its vessels for its service. For by the last words of David the sons of Levi were numbered from 20 years old and upward, for their office was to wait on the sons of Aaron for the service of the house of Yahweh in the courts, and in the rooms, and in the purifying of all holy things, even the work of the service of the house of God. For the showbread also, and for the fine flour for a meal offering, whether of unleavened wafers or of that which is baked in the pan, or of that which is soaked, and for all kinds of measure and size, and to stand every morning to thank and praise Yahweh, and likewise in the evening, and to offer all burnt offerings to Yahweh on the Sabbaths, on the new moons, and on the set feasts, in number according to the ordinance concerning them, continually before Yahweh. And that they should keep the duty of the tent of meeting, and the duty of the holy place, and the duty of the sons of Aaron their brothers, for the service of the house of Yahweh. End of chapter 23. Chapter 24. These were the divisions of the sons of Aaron. The sons of Aaron: Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father, and had no children. Therefore Eleazar and Ithamar executed the priest's office. David with Zadok of the sons of Eleazar, and Ahimelech of the sons of Ithamar, divided them according to their ordering in their service. There were more chief men found of the sons of Eleazar than of the sons of Ithamar, and they were divided like this. Of the sons of Eleazar there were 16 heads of fathers' houses, and of the sons of Ithamar, according to their fathers' houses, 8. Thus were they divided impartially by drawing lots. For there were princes of the sanctuary, and princes of God, both of the sons of Eleazar, and of the sons of Ithamar. Shemaiah the son of Nethanel the scribe, who was of the Levites, wrote them in the presence of the king, and the princes, and Zadok the priest. And Ahimelech the son of Abiathar, and the heads of the fathers' households of the priests, and of the Levites. One father's house being taken for Eleazar, and one taken for Ithamar. Now the first lot came forth to Jehoiarib, the second to Jediah, the third to Harim, the fourth to Seorim, the fifth to Malchijah, the sixth to Mijamin, the seventh to Hakaz, the eighth to Abijah, the ninth to Jeshua, the 10th to Shechaniah, the 11th to Eliashib, the 12th to Joachim, the 13th to Chuppah, the 14th to Jeshabeab, the 15th to Bilgah, the 16th to Immer, the 17th to Hezer, the 18th to Hapazez, the 19th to Pethadiah, the 20th to Jehezkel, the 21st to Jachin, the 22nd to Gamul, the 23rd to Deliah, the 24th to Maaziah. This was their ordering in their service, to come into the house of Yahweh according to the ordinance given to them by Aaron their father, as Yahweh, the God of Israel, had commanded him. Of the rest of the sons of Levi: of the sons of Amram, Shubael; of the sons of Shubael, Jediah; of Rehabiah; of the sons of Rehabiah, Ishiah the chief; of the Izharites, Shelomoth; of the sons of Shelomoth, Jahath; the sons of Hebron, Jeriah, Amariah the second, Jahaziel the third, Jekameam the fourth; the sons of Uzziel, Micah; of the sons of Micah, Shamir; the brother of Micah, Ishiah; of the sons of Ishiah, Zechariah; the sons of Merari, Mali and Mushi; the sons of Jaaziah, Beno; the sons of Merari, of Jaaziah, Beno and Shoham, and Zakur and Ibri; of Mali, Eleazar, who had no sons; of Kish, the sons of Kish, Jerahmeel; the sons of Mushi, Mali, and Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the sons of the Levites after their fathers' houses. These likewise cast lots, even as their brothers the sons of Aaron, in the presence of David the king, and Zadok, and Ahimelech, and the heads of the fathers' households of the priests, and of the Levites, the fathers' households of the chief, even as those of his younger brother. End of chapter 24. Chapter 25. Moreover, David and the captains of the army set apart for the service certain of the sons of Asaph, and of Heman, and of Jeduthun, who should prophesy with harps, with stringed instruments, and with cymbals. And the number of those who did the work according to their service was: of the sons of Asaph, Zaccur, and Joseph, and Nethaniah, and Asharelah, the sons of Asaph, under the hand of Asaph, who prophesied after the order of the king. Of Jeduthun, the sons of Jeduthun, Gedaliah, and Zeri, and Jeshiah, Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6, under the hands of their father. Jeduthun with the harp, who prophesied in giving thanks and praising Yahweh. Of Haman, the sons of Haman, Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uzziel, Shebuel, and Jeremoth, Hananiah, Hanani, Eliathah, Gittalti, and Romamti-Ezer, Joshbekashah, Melothi, Hothir, Mahazioth. All these were the sons of Haman, the king's seer in the words of God, to lift up the horn. God gave to Haman 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these were under the hands of their father for song in the house of Yahweh, with cymbals, stringed instruments, and harps for the service of the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Haman being under the order of the king. The number of them with their brothers, who were instructed in singing to Yahweh, even all who were skillful, was 288. They cast lots for their offices, all alike, as well the small as the great, the teacher as the scholar. Now the first lot came forth for Asaph to Joseph, the second to Gedaliah. He and his brothers and sons were 12. The third to Zaccur, his sons and his brothers, 12. The fourth to Isri, his sons and his brothers, 12. The fifth to Nethaniah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The sixth to Bukiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The seventh to Jesharelah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The eighth to Jeshiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The ninth to Mattaniah, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 10th to Shimei, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 11th to Azarel, his sons and his brothers, 12. The 12th to Hashabiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 13th Shubael, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 14th Mattathiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 15th to Jeremoth, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 16th to Hananiah, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 17th to Joshbekashah, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 18th to Hanani, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 19th to Melothi, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 20th to Eliathah, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 21st to Hothir, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 22nd to Gittalti, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 23rd to Mahazioth, his sons and his brothers, 12. For the 24th to Romamti-Ezer, his sons and his brothers, 12. End of chapter 25. Chapter 26. For the divisions of the doorkeepers. Of the Korahites, Meshelemiah the son of Korah, of the sons of Asaph. Meshelemiah had sons: Zechariah the firstborn, Jediel the second, Zebediah the third, Jathniel the fourth, Elam the fifth, Jehohanan the sixth, Eliahoenai the seventh. Obed-Edom had sons: Shemaiah the firstborn, Jehozabad the second, Joah the third, and Sacar the fourth, and Nethanel the fifth, Amiel the sixth, Issachar the seventh, Peulethi the eighth. For God blessed him. Also to Shemaiah his son were sons born, who ruled over the house of their father, for they were mighty men of valor. The sons of Shemaiah: Othni, and Raphael, and Obed, Elzabad, whose brothers were valiant men, Elihu, and Shemachiah. All these were of the sons of Obed-Edom. They and their sons and their brothers, able men in strength for the service, 62 of Obed-Edom. Meshlemiah had sons and brothers, valiant men, 18. Also Hosah of the children of Merari had sons, Shimri the chief, for though he was not firstborn, yet his father made him chief, Hilkiah the second, Tebaliah the third, Zechariah the fourth. All the sons and brothers of Hosah were 13. Of these were the divisions of the doorkeepers, even of the chief men, having offices like their brothers, to minister in the house of Yahweh. They cast lots, the small as well as the great, according to their fathers' houses, for every gate. The lot eastward fell to Shelemiah. Then for Zechariah his son, a wise counselor, they cast lots, and his lot came out northward. To Obed-Edom southward, and to his sons the storehouse. To Shuppim and Hosah westward, by the gate of Shalaketh, at the causeway that goes up, watch against watch. Eastward were 6 Levites, northward 4 a day, southward 4 a day, and for the storehouse 2 and 2. For Parbar westward 4 at the causeway, and 2 at Parbar. These were the divisions of the doorkeepers, of the sons of the Korahites, and of the sons of Merari. Of the Levites, Ahijah was over the treasures of the house of God, and over the treasures of the dedicated things. The sons of Laden, the sons of the Gershonites belonging to Laden, the heads of the fathers' households belonging to Laden the Gershonite. Jehieli, the sons of Jehieli, Zetham, and Joel his brother, over the treasures of the house of Yahweh. Of the Amramites, of the Izharites, of the Hebronites, of the Uzzielites. And Shebuel the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was ruler over the treasures. His brothers, of Eleazar, Rehabiah his son, of the Amramites, of the Izharites, of the Hebrites, of the Uzzielites. And Shebuel the son of Gershom, the son of Moses, was ruler over the treasures. His brothers, of Eleazar, Rehabiah his son, and Jeshiah his son, and Joram his son, and Zichri his son, and Shelomoth his son. This Shelomoth and his brothers were over all the treasures of the dedicated things, which David the king, and the heads of the fathers' households, the captains over thousands and hundreds, and the captains of the army, had dedicated. They dedicated some of the spoil won in battles to repair the house of Yahweh. All that Samuel the seer, and Saul the son of Kish, and Abner the son of Ner, and Joab the son of Zeruiah had dedicated, whoever had dedicated anything, it was under the hand of Shelomoth, and of his brothers. Of the Izharites, Kenaniah and his sons were for the outward business over Israel, for the officers and judges. Of the Hebronites, Hashabiah and his brothers, men of valor, 1,700, had the oversight of Israel beyond the Jordan westward, for all the business of Yahweh, and for the service of the king. Of the Hebronites was Jerijah the chief, even of the Hebronites, according to their generations by fathers' households. In the 40th year of the reign of David they were sought for, and there were found among them mighty men of valor at Jazer of Gilead. His brothers, men of valor, were 2,700, heads of fathers' households, whom King David made overseers over the Reubenites, and the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites, for every matter pertaining to God, and for the affairs of the king. End of chapter 26. Chapter 27. Now the children of Israel after their number, the heads of fathers' households, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and their officers who served the king, in any matter of the divisions which came in and went out month by month throughout all the months of the year, of every division were 24,000. Over the first division for the first month was Jashobeam the son of Zabdiel, and in his division were 24,000. He was of the children of Perez, the chief of all the captains of the army for the first month. Over the division of the second month was Dodai the Ahohite, and his division, and Mikloth the ruler, and in his division were 24,000. The third captain of the army for the third month was Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada the priest, chief, and in his division were 24,000. This is that Benaiah who was the mighty man of the 30, and over the 30, and of his division was Ammizabad his son. The fourth captain for the 4th month was Asahel the brother of Joab, and Zebadiah his son after him, and in his division were 24,000. The 5th captain for this 5th month was Shamhuth the Izrahite, and in his division were 24,000. The 6th captain for the 6th month was Ira the son of Ikesh the Tekoite, and in his division were 24,000. The 7th captain for the 7th month was Helez the Pelonite of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 8th captain for the 8th month was Sibbecai the Hushathite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 9th captain for the 9th month was Abiezer the Anathothite of the Benjamites, and in his division were 24,000. The 10th captain for the 10th month was Maharai the Netophathite of the Zerahites, and in his division were 24,000. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaiah the Pirathonite of the children of Ephraim, and in his division were 24,000. The 12th captain for the 12th month was Heldai the Netophathite of Othniel, and in his division were 24,000. Furthermore, over the tribes of Israel, of the Reubenites was Eleazar the son of Zichri the ruler, of the Simeonites Shephatiah the son of Maacah, of Levi Hashabiah the son of Kemuel, of Aaron Zadok, of Judah Elihu one of the brothers of David, of Issachar Omri the son of Michael, of Zebulun Ishmaiah the son of Obadiah, of Naphtali Jeremoth the son of Azriel, of the children of Ephraim Hoshea the son of Azaziah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh Joel the son of Pedaiah, of the half-tribe of Manasseh in Gilead Edo the son of Zechariah, of Benjamin Jaasiel the son of Abner, of Dan Azarel the son of Jeroham. These were the captains of the tribes of Israel. But David didn't take the number of them from 20 years old and under, because Yahweh had said he would increase Israel like the stars of the sky. Joab the son of Zeruiah began to number, but didn't finish, and there came wrath for this on Israel. Neither was the number put into the account in the Chronicles of King David. Over the king's treasures was Asmaveth the son of Adiel, and over the treasures in the fields, in the cities, and in the villages, and in the towers, was Jonathan the son of Uzziah. Over those who did the work of the field for tillage of the ground was Ezri the son of Caleb, and over the vineyards was Shimei the Ramathite, and over the increase of the vineyards for the wine cellars was Zabdi the Shifmite, and over the olive trees and the sycamore trees that were in the lowland was Baal-Hanan the Gederite, and over the cellars of oil was Joash, and over the herds that fed in Sharon was Shitra the Sharonite, and over the herds that were in the valleys was Shaphat the son of Adlai, and over the camels was Obil the Ishmaelite, and over the donkeys was Jediah the Meronothite, and over the flocks was Jaziz the Hagrite. All these were the rulers of the substance which was King David's. Also Jonathan, David's uncle, was a counselor, a man of understanding, and a scribe, and Jehiel the son of Hachmoni was with the king's sons. Ahithophel was the king's counselor, and Hushai the Archite was the king's friend, and after Ahithophel was Jehoiada the son of Benaiah, and Abiathar, and the captain of the king's army was Joab. End of chapter 27. Chapter 28. David assembled all the princes of Israel, the princes of the tribes, and the captains of the companies who served the king by division, and the captains of thousands, and the captains of hundreds, and the rulers over all the substance and possessions of the king and of his sons, with the officers and the mighty men, even all the mighty men of valor, to Jerusalem. Then David the king stood up on his feet and said, "Hear me, my brothers and my people. As for me, it was in my heart to build a house for the rest of the ark of the covenant of Yahweh, and for the footstool of our God. And I had prepared for the building. But God said to me, You shall not build a house for my name, because you are a man of war, and have shed blood. However, Yahweh, the God of Israel, chose me out of all the house of my father to be king over Israel forever. For he has chosen Judah to be prince, and in the house of Judah the house of my father, and among the sons of my father he took pleasure in me to make me king over all Israel. Of all my sons, for Yahweh has given me many sons, he has chosen Solomon my son to sit on the throne of Yahweh's kingdom over Israel. He said to me, Solomon your son shall build my house and my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. I will establish his kingdom forever, if he continues to do my commandments and my ordinances as at this day. Now therefore, in the sight of all Israel, the assembly of Yahweh, and in the audience of your God, observe and seek out all the commandments of Yahweh your God, that you may possess this good land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children after you forever. You, Solomon my son, know the God of your father, and serve him with a perfect heart, and with a willing mind. For Yahweh searches all hearts, and understands all the imaginations of the thoughts. If you seek him, he will be found by you. But if you forsake him, he will cast you off forever. Take heed now, for Yahweh has chosen you to build a house for the sanctuary. Be strong and do it. Then David gave to Solomon his son the pattern of the porch of the temple, and of its houses, and of its treasuries, and of the upper rooms of it, and of the inner rooms of it, and of the place of the mercy seat, and the pattern of all that he had by the Spirit for the courts of the house of Yahweh, and for all the surrounding rooms, for the treasuries of the house of God, and for the treasuries of the dedicated things. Also for the divisions of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of the service of the house of Yahweh, and for all the vessels of service in the house of Yahweh. Of gold by weight for the gold, for all vessels of every kind of service, for all the vessels of silver by weight, for all vessels of every kind of service, by weight also for the lampstands of gold, and for its lamps of gold, by weight for every lampstand, and for its lamps. And for the lampstands of silver, by weight for every lampstand, and for its lamps, according to the use of every lampstand. And the gold by weight for the tables of showbread, for every table, and silver for the tables of silver, and the forks, and the basins, and the cups of pure gold, and for the golden bowls by weight for every bowl, and for the silver bowls by weight for every bowl, and for the altar of incense refined gold by weight, and gold for the pattern of the chariot, the cherubim that spread out and covered the ark of the covenant of Yahweh. All this, said David, I have been made to understand in writing from the hand of Yahweh, even all the works of this pattern. David said to Solomon his son, Be strong and courageous, and do it. Don't be afraid, nor be dismayed, for Yahweh God, even my God, is with you. He will not fail you, nor forsake you, until all the work for the service of the house of Yahweh is finished. Behold, there are the divisions of the priests and the Levites for all the service of the house of God. There shall be with you in all kinds of work every willing man who has skill for any kind of service. Also the captains and all the people will be entirely at your command. End of chapter 28. Chapter 29. David the king said to all the assembly, Solomon my son, whom alone God has chosen, is yet young and tender, and the work is great, for the palace is not for man, but for Yahweh God. Now I have prepared with all my might for the house of my God the gold for the things of gold, and the silver for the things of silver, and the brass for the things of brass, the iron for the things of iron, and wood for the things of wood, onyx stones and stones to be set, stones for inlaid work and of various colors, and all kinds of precious stones, and marble stones in abundance. In addition, because I have set my affection on the house of my God, since I have a treasure of my own of gold and silver, I give it to the house of my God, over and above all that I have prepared for the holy house, even 3,000 talents of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, with which to overlay the walls of the houses. of gold for the things of gold, and of silver for the things of silver, and for all kinds of work to be made by the hands of artisans. Who then offers willingly to consecrate himself this day to Yahweh? Then the princes of the fathers' households, and the princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, with the rulers over the king's work, offered willingly. And they gave for the service of the house of God of gold 5,000 talents, and 10,000 darics, and of silver 10,000 talents, and of brass 18,000 talents, and of iron 100,000 talents. They with whom precious stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of Yahweh under the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. Then the people rejoiced, because they offered willingly, because with a perfect heart they offered willingly to Yahweh. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Therefore David blessed Yahweh before all the assembly. And David said, You are blessed, Yahweh, the God of Israel our father, for ever and ever. Yours, Yahweh, is the greatness, the power, the glory, the victory, and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, Yahweh, and you are exalted as head above all. Both riches and honor come from you, and you rule over all, and in your hand is power and might, and it is in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. Now, therefore, our God, we thank you and praise your glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer so willingly as this? For all things come from you, and of your own have we given you. For we are strangers before you, and foreigners, as all our fathers were. Our days on the earth are as a shadow, and there is no remaining. Yahweh our God, all this store that we have prepared to build you a house for your holy name comes from your hand, and it is all your own. I know also, my God, that you try the heart, and have pleasure in uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart I have willingly offered all these things. Now have I seen with joy your people that are present here offer willingly to you. Yahweh, the God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Israel, our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the heart of your people, and prepare their heart for you. And give to Solomon my son a perfect heart, to keep your commandments, your testimonies, and your statutes, and to do all these things, and to build the palace for which I have made provision. David said to all the assembly, Now bless Yahweh your God. All the assembly blessed Yahweh, the God of their fathers, and bowed down their heads, and prostrated themselves before Yahweh and the king. They sacrificed sacrifices to Yahweh, and offered burnt offerings to Yahweh on the next day after that day, even 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, and 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings, and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel, and ate and drank before Yahweh on that day with great gladness. They made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him to Yahweh to be prince, and Zadok to be priest. Then Solomon sat on the throne of Yahweh as king instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Israel obeyed him. All the princes, the mighty men, and also all of the sons of King David submitted themselves to Solomon the king. Yahweh magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed on him such royal majesty as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Now David the son of Jesse reigned over all Israel. The time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. He died in a good old age, full of days, riches, and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his place. Now the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the history of Samuel the seer, and in the history of Nathan the prophet, and in the history of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the times that went over him, and over Israel, and over all the kingdoms of the countries. End of chapter 29. End of the book of First Chronicles from the World English Bible. Recording by Carol Newkirk.